Crystal Palace National Sports Centre after a long and chaotic day of volleyball. 3 5-setters. We are back inside and ready for day number 2 of the Final Four. And we will start with our bronze medal matches. And first of all, in the Mari Women's Super League, we have Team Side Out Polonia and Lionhearts Venarius will square off to try and pick up that all-important medal. Mike Hunter-Morris, Jess Smith. Jess, what a day of volleyball yesterday was.
I know, it was so incredible. Like you said, we had 3 5-set matches. They were all so brilliant to watch. Team Side Out Polonia was one of the teams involved in one of those 5-set matches. Lionhearts Venarius played 3 sets yesterday. So a bit of a difference between these two squads. But after that thriller yesterday, I'm really excited to see what both teams bring out onto the court today.
Indeed, and obviously, bronze medal game. Never the game you want to be in, but there's something on the line, important game, so that will help the reset of both teams mentally, trying to prepare for a London derby.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit more pressure this in the bronze medal match because the loser doesn't get anything to take home. The winner takes home some sort of silverware. So does that put a little bit more pressure on these teams? We're going to find out who can handle it and who can't. Indeed.
Obviously, a exciting day yesterday with the 3 games in 5 sets. Reminder for those of you at home that weren't with us yesterday, how yesterday played out in the Mari Women's Super League semi-finals. Yesterday morning it was Mallory Eagles beating Lionhearts 3-0, 25-21, 25-17 and 25-14. The MVP was Chloe Allen for Mallory. And then Side Out falling to the Essex Rebels. The Rebels managing to reverse sweep their way into the gold medal game. 25-20, 25-14 was how Side Out won set 1 and set number 2. And then the Rebels storming back 18-25, 20-25, and then 13-15 in the 5th set. 4 straight points for the Rebels to close that one out. MVP for Essex was Alexis Diaz-Infante. And she's given her side just a little bit more time in bed this morning.
Yes, just a little bit more time, and I'm sure that they'll appreciate that extra time as well after playing 5 full-on sets.
Indeed, as Team Side Out Polonia just getting their photo taken as we wait the captains to head to the referees' stands for the coin toss in a minute after Lionhearts get their team photos. And yes, obviously, talk about team photos get taken place on the first day of the season, but also nice to get one at the end. Most of the rosters stayed the same, but obviously a couple of players in and out, and always a nice momentum occasion making the Final Four. It's not an easy thing to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see how much work the ladies have put in. The growth of both of these teams that we've got out there right now has been tremendous across the season. Really exciting to see what they can do, and Lionhearts expecting to see them grow even further next season. Polonia have been pretty stable, expecting them to continue on that really stable.
There's leadership in a team photo.
Yes.
That's a sign of a good coach, right?
Yes. Coach Taberti just making sure that all of his ladies are lined up exactly how he wants them to be.
And obviously we'll talk about that in a minute, but Lionhearts 12 months ago, it almost felt like it's dead cert relegation going into March last year. They were stone dead bottom of the Super League, didn't have a win in their name, pulled 3 wins off at the back end of the season to finish 9th, get into the playoff game, which they successfully won 3-0. So for that, just the sign of that growth of this team over the course of the season has been huge.
Oh yeah, definitely, and a couple of key signings for them as well, helping them make it to the Final Four this year, so massive turnaround.
As now we get the captains to the middle for slightly delayed coin toss. Definitely wasn't in our pre-game script, but we're making it work here. As Lara Yilmaz and the injured Gloria Francolatici will head to our referees and figure out who gets first serve. A little bit more light protection installed overnight, Jess. Obviously the early game of Sunlight, not a big issue. So change of which end you're serving up first, not overly important this early on in the morning.
Yeah, not quite so important as it was in that Essex versus Knights game yesterday, where I'm sure that anybody watching the stream would have seen the impact that the sun had on the teams that were playing on our left-hand side from this view of the stream.
Sun in the UK in April, are we okay?
I don't know, but today looks like it's going to be another glorious, bright, sunny day. So we'll see if that has an impact on any of the matches as we make our way through.
Yeah, and also the one thing we seem to notice with the humidity in here, the ball seemed to be moving around a little bit, so serve receive going to be massively important for all 8 teams this morning and this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out. It's something that people don't think about too much, but the temperature in a hole can really change how much a float serve moves, both up and down and laterally. So it's really difficult on the passing units, and especially in the women's game, because most of the servers will serve a jump float. It's the typical serve that you see.
As both coaches just checking they're happy the right roster's in. Doesn't look like any replacements overnight for either roster. We might see some tweaks as you see Spiky there starting to, no, I was going to say starting to get the crowd warmed up. No, that was purely self-interest. That was purely for the media camera to make a highlight reel.
Yes. He looked like he was enjoying himself, though. He did a lot of dancing yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really exciting. I think even, I'm not sure if you were here at the time, but Spiky got a red card yesterday.
Wait, what?
Yes.
You're allowed to red card a mascot?
Apparently. He was on the playing surface when the referee was trying to start or restart one of the matches. I think it was between sets. Bit of a joking moment, but it was a fun crowd.
Eject him out of the building.
Yes.
There you go, there you go. I mean, he's staring us down. He clearly knows we're talking about him.
Yes, definitely.
Right, let's get him back onto track, and we might as well start with team side out Polonia, second in the league, 15-3 on the season, 47 points. Mark Kontopoulos, obviously the head coach, and what a season team side out have had, dealing with injuries all season. Lost Sydney Busa, who is part of the squad, to an ACL injury. They lost Agnes Veniza 2 weeks ago in the National Cup semi-final against Leeds to another knee injury. Mark Kontopoulos confirming in the week, in the build-up, that she's already had surgery on that, so hopefully that is a good and quick recovery process for the Italian. And some rotating cast. So how impressive have you been with side out, Jess, just to maintain consistency throughout all the injuries and all the roster changes that they've had with illness and other things throughout the year?
Yeah, mentally it's really tough to deal with when you have one of your key players out injured, and then to have another one go out in the cup as well. To stay at the same level of performance is such a testament to both the coaching stability and the mental aspect of the game for these ladies. It's really incredible from them.
Indeed, and obviously the last time these two sides met, side out won 3-0, but someone that was really good yesterday, Abigail Russell, had to fill in as an outside in that game. So it'll be interesting to see with the success she had, and by success we are talking 15 kills and 31 swings for Abigail Russell. No errors, hitting a 484 in that game against Lionhearts back in February. You wonder if day limited prep time, you roll out a rotation like that and give her another shot at the outside.
Yeah, they might do. I mean, if she's got those sorts of stats, really are a testament to how strong she is as a player. So it'll be interesting to see what they do today. Might as well take advantage of all of the tools in your arsenal. You know, Polonia have got deep bench despite the injuries. So what can they put out there today?
Yeah, and obviously Casey Bell, the other middle, the reigning Mari Women's Super League playoff champion, with her Durham Platinums for at least another 6 hours or so on the roster, as well as a middle. So potentially that's a rotation we might see, as Russell taking a kind of middly outside swing early on. We'll see how that evolves. Also, you've got to give a shout out to Merva Aiken as well, with that changing cast, being able to set so successfully, a big part. And yesterday, big game from the service line for Merv.
Oh yeah, definitely. She was a huge impact player for Polonia yesterday, and completely agree about the setting piece, because it's important to have that connection between yourself and your attackers as you go on. But when your attackers are changing position, to have that connection movable is such a great skill.
And of course, the other one we need to talk about, and Jess, you brought this up in pre-game as well, as we rotate sides, Alice Jagielski yesterday, huge game.
Yes, massive game for her. She was absolutely on fire. She had 19 points, which was really huge. So 12 kills, 3 blocks, and 4 aces, so big service game for her as well.
And in the 5th set, when it was down the wire, Alice was the one trying to drag her side through. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short, but to see the 18-year-old in what's one of her last appearances in this country before she heads off to Pepperdine to start her collegiate beach career. Huge to see, but obviously that is team side out. Bologna, they will be favourites of this game, but this team on the other side of the net will not make it easy for them. That is Lionhearts Venerius, head coach, of course, Davide Tabete. And Jess, we already talked about it a little bit while they're doing their team photo. The growth of this team has been the most impressive thing, but they've come into this game. They weren't happy with how they played yesterday. We knew that from just a couple of reactions in game, but also catching up with a couple of people after game. And they've got no pressure today. They're going to come out all guns blazing.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. They've made it to the Final Four. They've done better than they were expecting to do when the season started. So they'll be pleased with their results no matter what happens today. Hopefully they're coming out a bit more relaxed. Yesterday they looked a bit tense. They really struggled in the service reception, which will be interesting to see today because Bologna is a quite strong serving side. So how will they deal with that today? And if they can deal with that, how much of a difference will that make to their performance?
Indeed, and obviously some depth, especially in the middle position for Lionhearts Venerius. So 4 options to run down the middle. We'll see if they change some things up as well. And obviously, talking down the middle, you have to talk about Mallory Porcher. Big game yesterday in her return to lineup. Obviously missed some of the games, missed the game. Believe she was at the Super Bowl the last time side out and Lionheart squared off as well. So, but a big game for her in the middle. And how important is it going to be to get her going early?
Oh, it's going to be massively important. So she scored 6 points yesterday, so 4 kills and 2 blocks. I think that Mallory yesterday did a good job of avoiding her in the block, but she is such a strong solo blocker with 20 solo blocks across the season, plus the couple from yesterday. So if they can get her firing, both in attack and defense, they might be able to slow down this Bologna attack.
Yeah, Porcher leading the Women's Super League in blocks per set, just over 1. The only person to break that barrier of over 1 block per set in her 2nd season, having played for Cambridge ARU last season. And obviously, you talked about the serve reception. How much, obviously, with your head coach being a libero, you know about this. How much pressure is put on you on a defensive end when your head coach is also a defensive specialist to make that sure that serve receives right?
It's so important. And yes, the pressure's there. And Coach Taberti spoke in his pre-weekend interview about the fact that he prides his team on their defensive acumen and their passing. So it's really important for the ladies to get out there and put out some good passes today.
Indeed, as we are just getting our copy of the starting lineups. We will share them with you ever so shortly once the starting lineups are officially announced as we go through the final bits of hitting warm-up here at Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. Jess, obviously, what else took your eye from Lionhearts yesterday in that semi-final against Mallory? Obviously struggling, but who kind of jumped out to you as another person that perhaps has got another gear to get into as well?
I think Sviridova, who we said was our one to watch ahead of the match yesterday, so she had 9 points, but we know that she can do better than that. I think if they can get her firing today as well, so that they're not just relying on Porcher today, it'll make a big difference. The other one that I really enjoyed watching yesterday was Stewart. I feel like she had some really smart attacks. She wasn't always swinging the hardest that she could, but she was making good choices, going high off the hands of the block or block out for kills. So she'll definitely be an impact player today. She was also probably one of the more solid in their service reception yesterday. So between her and the libero Davitt, they'll be looking for that to shore up their passing unit.
So, as ever here at Super League Live, we'll have a look at a one to watch, and 4 team side out Bologna, nowhere really else to go. But Yulia Tokarenko yesterday, 15 kills. We know she's got a big arm, Jess. 5th in kills in the Super League coming into this weekend, despite being 11th in attempts. Talk about the efficiency, hitting 320 on the season. What's the most impressive thing you saw yesterday about in her performance?
I think it was just that court vision that she had, because you don't always see that from your really big swingers. They're usually just swinging hard no matter what. She's looking at the block, looking for the seam in the block, or looking to go inside or outside of the block to look for that really open space on the court. Such a smart player. So, like you said, She had 15 kills yesterday, but she also came in solid with 3 blocks, and she had an ace of her own, although I don't think she's known for her aces. So really impressive performance from her yesterday.
And obviously a big person in that serve receive unit. We know teams like to try and go at her. As for London Lionhearts, despite not having the best game, we know how passionate and fiery she is, and it's the setter Mira Antonasova. This team kind of goes similar to Diaz Infante of Essex. This team goes how she goes, and she's a big person for that team to kind of spark some energy, and we're looking for her to really make a jump up today and get this team going.
Yeah, I think you said that she didn't have her best game yesterday, but we talked before about the struggles that they had in service reception, so I think it's a little unfair to say that she had a bad game. I think she had a tough game to try and resolve some of the issues that the team was having overall. She had some really good standout sets. I think if the service reception is improved today, she'll be able to show just how she can run her offense when she's at her best.
As both teams get ready to get our official intro onto court, and obviously we talked about Tokarenko, the serve receive element of it as well. Obviously helped a little bit by the return of Carla Mully. Someone not yet touched upon, the Luxembourg international, just her 3rd game back, having missed most of 2025 with an injury. High volume player for her, as both teams vibing along to the tunes of DJ Kaz in the booth just away to our right. Crowd slowly starting to fill in on a delightful sunny morning down here in London. And Jess, little wrinkle to this game. We talked about obviously the matchup in February where Side Out won it 3-0, 25-15 in all 3 sets. These two sides scrimmaged last Sunday. And I got a little bit of intel talking to coaches in the week building up, and obviously they weren't thinking or focusing or worrying about wanting to play each other unless maybe it was a gold medal game. It was more what was happening in the semi-final. They split the first 2 sets, 1 set all. So how important is that for Lionhearts to know that they can, despite having got blown off the floor really last time out, knowing that they can compete with this side-out team going into this game?
I think it's going to be a massive ego boost for them because they know that they can perform at that level. So it's just, can they come out today and put out a really solid performance? They only played 3 sets yesterday versus Polonia playing 5. So there could be a little bit of a difference in how rested they are. They also had a longer break because they played the first match yesterday. So our officials today for this match, for first official, we have Giordano Marchi. And for our second official, we have Giorgio Scatigna Gianfagna.
As we get ready to welcome the starting 7s onto court. And, of course, starting with the libero for Side Out. Because she's the captain, Alara Yilmaz's big game yesterday was a really stalwart in that defense. Especially when things started to run away from them a little bit. She made some huge digs. The digs leader in the Super League by 0.8 digs per set going into this weekend. She'll be joined by number 5, Carla Mully, number 12, Alice Jagielska, number 14, Casey Bell. Talked about her, she'll get the start ahead of Abby Russell. And then the setter change for Team Side Out. Number 15, Konstantin Skandali will start in the setter position along with Yulia Tokarenko and Valeria Busquets. So setter change for Side Out.
Yeah, we saw a lot of changing happening during the match yesterday, so I'm not overly surprised to see Skandali get the start today.
As Spikey clearly has a favourite, and that is not the team from Team Side Out, as he has joined the Lionhearts Venarius line. And we know with Lionhearts one thing, Jess, we will have the trumpeter as well.
Yes, definitely something exciting to listen out for. If you guys aren't in the venue, you might not be able to hear him, but the trumpeting is top-notch.
As the starting 7 coming out for Venarius, they will go with the same 7 yesterday. So number 4 in the middle, Kerr Sora. Number 5, Masha Trivadova. Number 9, Mallory Porcher. Number 11, Mira Antonasova. Number 12, Elena Vizlien. And 15, Maggie Stewart. And their starting libero, number 16, Maeve Davitt. So consistency for Lionhearts. Of course, the head coach is Davide to Berthe. The other thing we didn't quite get to in the pre-game, Jess, is just starting 7 for London, Lionhearts, Venerius. When these sides met in December, side out won 3-2. That was a 15-9 fifth set for Mark Kontopoulos' side. Lionhearts winning sets 2 and 4. So these two teams have history, and based on yesterday, you couldn't rule out another 5-setter.
No, definitely not. Anything could happen, you know. And we said this at the top of the weekend yesterday morning before the first match. There's everything to gain and nothing to lose this weekend. These teams already know that they finished in the top 4. They can gain some silverware out of this weekend, but they can't go down.
Yeah. So Libero's just subbing onto court for the opening rotations. I still don't have any idea who's serving. We're about to see no one standing behind the serve line, which is always a great start. It's Maggie Stewart, and the referee rolled the ball to where she was not standing. But here we go, Crystal Palace, National Sports Centre, day number 2 of the Final 4. Side out Polonia versus Lionhearts Venerius for the bronze medal in the Mari Women's Super League, and we are underway. Little float serve, well passed by Yilmaz, and Jagielska goes down the line, gets a touch. Big play by Stewart, and that will result in a free ball for Polonia. Casey Bell can't quite connect. A little bit of an overset by Scandali, but huge defense straight off the bat by Lionhearts.
That was an amazing chase down by Stewart to keep that ball alive. And on the very first point, that's going to pump them up for this match.
So Maggie Stewart going again down the middle of the court to position 6 where Yilmaz is. Carla Mully, block touch by Shrivadova and Porsche. Shrivadova against her old team. Doesn't quite get the winner. Jagielska plays it. Great recovery. Shrivadova again, this time finds the touch and finds the kill. And we know if there's one person pumped up to play in this game, it's Masha. Having chosen to position swap, it meant the changing club as well, and she's had a really strong season.
Yeah, she really has.
270 kills coming into the weekend as Jagielska, again, block touch, this time Atanasova and Porsche. Reading it, good defense by Carla Mully, and Jagielska rolls it over from the 3-meter line. Another huge dig by Yilmaz. Lionhearts defense on point early. It's Atanasova, the lefty, tries to force it through the block. As Carla Mully going to attack and find the seam between Stewart and Davitt, and an early point for the Luxembourg international.
Very long point early on in this match. If that is a sign of things to come, this could very well be going to 5. But some really great attacks, some good scramble plays from both teams in that one. Lionhearts looking a lot more pumped up than they were yesterday, and Polonia looking like they want to go home with some sort of medal today.
Shrivadova into the block. Good cover by Atanasova, but out of system. As Vizlien tries to push it deep, but pushes it a metre or so beyond the baseline. And tied at 2 points apiece.
Yeah, the idea is there, try and put it down on the baseline, put the number 6 defender, so it's Carla Mully at the moment, out of where she would like to be stood.
As a big dig by Carla Mully, diving to her right. Tokarenko finds the gap. The Lionhearts defense not rotating out to their spots properly.
And this is what we saw from Tokarenko yesterday. It's perfect representation of what she was doing. She's looking for that open space outside of the block, inside the line, where the defenders are not stood. Really great court vision.
So Carla Mully, serve rating of over 2. 17 aces on the season, going into it 6 in the Super League, and serve receive rating as well, as Shrivadova gets the perfect side out. And that's why she is such a weapon in this league, Jess.
Yeah.
Attacking from beyond the 3-meter line with pace.
Really smart swing from her, yeah. Really good to see her getting more fired up earlier on in this match. She struggled a bit yesterday, so 2 kills already though.
Porsche sending Yilmaz to the floor. Big dig by Porsche in the defense, and Shrivadova tries to go with a little deep ball, but pushes it off the sideline. But good defense by the American middle for Lionhearts.
I think Coach Taberti will actually be all right with Svirdova's error there, because she's trying to not just put in an easy free ball, trying to make it hard and down the line. It just went wide.
I mean, I'll be honest, I think she was going for the winner.
I think she was as well. Almost a kill, yeah.
Yeah. as Antonasova slide for Sora. Can't quite get the kill. Jagielska from the right side, a more natural side, but we know Alice can swing from both angles. Skandali now, another swing, and there's the perfect ball. It's twice we've seen that seam between 5 and 6 hit on this opposite side.
Yeah, Jagielska was a standout in yesterday's performance as well, so good to see her continue that push. Be smart with her swings, that taking advantage of that one-on-one.
So that will send Casey Bell back to the serve line. Stewart makes Antonasova bump set. Srividova forces Bell to play defense, and something we noticed yesterday, it looks like side out stayed with the same scheme, Jess, where they made a defensive adjustment of putting their middle in position 6, not in the more natural 5/1 spot, depending on server.
Yeah, they're trying to protect against those short tips that usually take the middles out, but that does mean that you don't have your best defender in for a long shot from one of your outside or opposites.
As Antonasova with the defense, Srividova again going for the roll. Tip by Busquets in on rotation as Srividova goes over the top of the block down the line.
That's a smart high line type shot, so almost beachy in a way. It's kind of going over the top of the block and just looking to pace that back corner of position 1.
So, yeah, we talked about the 270 kills. Srividova going into the weekend led Super League by 63 kills and 113 attempts at Atanasova into the net. To 12 attacks per set. Says about everything you need to know about how important she is for this Lionhearts team. And doing that position swap has definitely paid off for her. As the 18-year-old Jagielska goes, and they're going to call
it's a center line fault.
Center line fault on the
setter.
Yes, setter or the middle. They called it on someone.
She was well over the center line when she jumped to
I
set that ball.
definitely applied over the line. Just didn't say who it was.
Oh no, it was her when she was trying to jump to get that quite tight pass. She just didn't quite make it.
As this time, no danger. Srividova goes cross-court from the opposite position, misses the sideline, and all of a sudden, team side out.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be
points.
A timeout soon, because that's 3 errors in a row from Lionhearts here.
Sorry, 3 straight points, not 5 straight points, not quite there yet. As Vizlien into the block of Busquets. Great cover defense by Lionhearts there. Defense certainly making improvement as Busquets on the slide that produced success yesterday misses on her first opportunity.
Really great cover there from Stewart. I really liked watching her yesterday. She was good in defense. She's really solid, but that was excellent play.
Stewart 10th in the Super League in digs, coming in as the ace into the 3rd row of the bleachers here at the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. And Masha Srividova, her hands all over this early.
Oh yeah, clearly she took her performance in yesterday's match personally, and now she's out to top her points already in just 1 set.
Busquets, another slide, Sora, big hand to it, but Vizlien couldn't quite get there for the second touch. And the 18-year-old middle from Spain, Valeria Busquets, first-year university student. We know she's going to be with Sadak for a few more years, so interesting to see how she continues to develop, but she's had a strong season as Vizlien with a monster down the seam once again.
We've got to watch that one again because this is just a serious shot. There's a massive seam in that block, and she's taking full advantage of it.
As Tokarenko on serve receive, can't quite get her feet moving in time. Played it well away from the body, and the ball just deflecting out into the side out bench. The ace by the Estonian middle, Kerr Sora. She had 17 aces coming into the weekend. 205 serve rating as mistimed set. Antonasova had to play effectively the free ball, so out of system. Vizlien gets Yilmaz scrambling inside the 3-meter line. As Porcher, good defense by Tokarenko in the back row. Mully tips it into the block and finds the kill. Really smart angle by Carla Mully. Wins another long rally.
Yeah, really great play there. You can see that Polonia taking advantage of the fact that Jagielska's a good passer, even though she's the opposite, and pulling her in so they can hide Tokarenko. Although it was smart from Lionhearts to target her in the service reception.
As Busquets finds Stewart. Good pass, good hands on the block by Mully and Bell teaming up on the far side. Return favoured by Vislien and Porsche. Jagielska from the back row. Stewart into the block.
Great swing from Stewart. Just like we saw from her yesterday, she is really looking at where she can put that ball away.
As Vislien hits the antenna on the serve. Another serve error for Lionhearts, the second of the set. But their serve pressure does feel a little bit more increased than what they managed to get yesterday. Maybe a little bit nerves out the way as well.
Yes, definitely. It's a little bit cooler in the hole because we're starting a little bit earlier as well, so it might be just a difference in the way the ball is moving.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's perfect volleyball conditions right now as Stewart again attacking the block. Jagielska and Bell couldn't quite squeeze.
Yeah, again, just taking advantage of the fact that the middle is just a little too slow to get there. Scandali's really close to that block, expecting a tip, I think.
As the trumpeter loved that one as Jagielska from the left side. Vislien goes long, another error by the Romanian.
Yeah, she didn't get massively involved yesterday. You could tell that she was swinging hard, but she was swinging with a lot of errors. So they need to figure out a way to get her firing and keep it in the court.
As Jagielska going to attack into the block. David going to set Shrivadova. She'll try and go for a little tip. Well read by Scandali, set out of system. And a big swing beats Stewart to her left.
Let's watch that one again because it was just that beautiful of an out-of-system play. Really smart there from Jagielska.
So 13 plays 11. Team side out leading early on. As Atanasova tried to set Porsche, but not quite on the same connection of where the ball was going to be placed. Jagielska rolls. Shrivadova gets a big touch on it. And she'll swing into Yilmaz. Those two have had plenty of battles over the years as Julia Tokarenko goes into the net, slash through the bottom of the net. She comes down a little bit gingerly, and it'll be side out, losing the point, and Mallory Porsche on to serve.
Luckily,
looks like Tokarenko is okay, which is the most important thing.
Yeah. But this is going to be a tough service reception rotation for Polonia here because Jagielska's hiding, so they can't really change the serve receive.
As Porsche into the net.
That's the one they needed to make the serve on because those are the rotations you have to take advantage of when you're playing a tough team like this.
As Mark Kontopoulos just pointed to the bench. I think he's prepping his, what's almost traditional at this point, double sub as a middle error, serve into middle error on serve. Casey Bell this time into the tape.
Yes,
Or
two service errors in a row. Yeah, below the tape is probably not good. If it hits the top of the tape, it just doesn't roll over. Mostly okay.
Atanasova had a serve error on the first time, forces Mully deep. Tokarenko, a huge swing, attacking the libero, David, and she can't quite handle it as here comes the double sub.
And while we're waiting for that double sub, we're just going to watch that Tokarenko swing again. You can see the block's not quite close, but she's still going to the cross-court side of the middle blocker because Sora left a little too much space. David did well to adapt to where the block position was, but wasn't quite able to get herself there.
So into the game for the first time wearing 9, Anna Rantala, the Finnish player who joined side out at Christmas, along with Merva Aikin, the normal starting setter for team side out Polonia. This time coming off the bench into the back row. trying to keep that 3 attackers in, and that pays off as Tokarenko and Busquets line up to get the stuff. And a 3-point side-out lead.
Yeah, that'll be massive for Polonia there to try and stop Sviridova, who's been on a pretty good run in set number 1.
As head coach Davide Tabate will use the first timeout of the game, 16-13. And what do you think? We're just checking the buzzer worked. I think he tried to hit it. It wasn't quite functioning this early in the morning. Even the buzzer wants a lie-in.
Yes. It's an early start after all of the excitement from yesterday. I know that we're feeling it because we were here quite late trying to.
I've only just noticed we don't have lights.
I did not notice either. We definitely had line judges yesterday. Oh, no.
Have they got a new flag? Has he gone to get a new flag?
He might have gone to get a new flag.
I just saw him at the table picking up a flag. I was like, have we not? No, he's definitely been there the whole game.
He's definitely been there.
New flag.
We need another coffee, I think.
Maybe do after your. What time did you get out of here last night? 10:30?
Yes, that feels about right. Yep.
Mallory Eagles men seem to love playing till the next day. As out of the timeout, good serve, Vislien off the block of Rantala.
Smart swing from Vislien there after she's been struggling so far in this set. Few errors and no kills, so that was her first kill.
Rantala making her return to the indoor scene. Finnish player who's been on the beach a lot. She'll probably no doubt play in summer side-outs beach tournaments over the summer, but she's got a final 4 bronze medal to win first, along with obviously the National Cup final, which you can join us in Kettering 3 weeks' time for that one. Team side-out Polonia will play Mallory Eagles in the Women's National Cup final Sunday, 1 o'clock for that one, part of a blockbuster weekend at the National Volleyball Centre in Kettering, as Sora has to just not quite, again, timed up on the middle connection as Mully forces it through the block.
Really smart swing from Mully there, seeing that it just didn't look like Vislien was pressing enough, so taking advantage of the softness of those hands.
Possible double sub being prepped by Lionhearts as well. One that we did see yesterday, lovely short float serve. Atanasova does a really, really good job keeping that alive, and Sora able to read her intention and finds the uncontested kill.
Really smart play there from Sora to get that ball in.
As the ace from Sora on the back row.
I mean, that's always something that's going to pump you up as a player. She's just gotten a kill to bring herself back to the serve, and then she's gotten an ace. There's 2 points in a row.
Second ace of the day for the Estonian is Mully. Able to get round it to force the angle.
I mean, this was a really impressive swing from her, just contorting her body because that set was a little bit too far outside from where she was expecting it to be, and still somehow putting it down the front of the block.
As Kari Millard, the serving specialist for Team Sideout.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday to great effect for the Polonia team.
Always late in set, that normally low arm action with the curved run. As Lionhearts can only force a tip over. Mully goes roll shot, well picked up by Stewart. She's not in position to hit, so Sideout can line up the block, but they can't squeeze on it enough. And a big swing for Vislien, her 3rd point of the day, and he had 5 kills yesterday, so she's bounced back as Lionhearts Venarius now make a double sub of their own, as Vislien and Antonasova will head to the bench into the game. Number 14, Diane Awan, who can play opposite or outside, and she'll be joined by the other setup for Venarius, Gabby Nobrega, and she'll head back to the service line, leading the team in serve percentage and serve rating, and she'll go at Tokarenko. Mully beats Srividova, who thought she's going a little bit more cross-court. You can just see as that contact happens, Srividova moving to her left and the ball goes to her right.
Yeah, Porsche as well staying with the middle on that one and not quite closing that block, leaving a big gap.
So side out, get to 20. Lead by 3, make that 2 as Porsche has a monster cross-court angle.
Welcome to the match, Mallory Porsche. We have been missing you so much. We talked about you before the match started, and boom, here comes the hammer. Great swing.
As some instructions getting rushed onto court as Aiken tight has to go one hand over her head. Shrivadova, Tess Yilmaz down the line. Mully beat through it again, and Carla Mully is having a monster set.
Massive swings from Mully right now.
6th kill of the game for Carla Mully. And she'll head back to serve. Shrivadova into the block.
So it feels like Polonia are setting up quite a tight to this pin block, and Lionhearts have been doing a good job the last few points of just trying to use the outside arm of the opposite, or the outside, depending on if they're hitting, where they're hitting from, to try and get themselves into that.
As the serve just long ball by Porsche, not by a lot.
Again, that is the rotation, although it's a bit different now because they've done the double substitution, but that was the rotation where they needed to change things up. They need to make that serve.
As Casey Bell with the ace on the serve, and that will probably be enough to clinch the set. 4-point lead late on, and Davide Taberdi gonna talk it over with his side, but a big ace for Casey Bell to make up for that earlier error.
Yeah, 19-23 mentally to come back from below 20 when your other team is only 2 points clear from the set. Like, it's really hard to come back from. I'm sure Coach DeBerti is just telling his girls, you've been doing really well on serve receive so far, so all we need to do is take that deep breath, relax the shoulders a bit, don't be so stiff when you're passing, get a nice pass up for the setter.
Yeah, it's Nobrega into the front court. Well, I think she's technically backcourt, but obviously in rotation
She's in
6,
5.
so she can step up to the net early. As Bell, Davitt, perfect pass. Shrivadova, who was big early, but side out starting to adjust a little bit on the block. Has 2 swings, can't find the floor on either. Tokarenko with the tip over Nobrega, more to the middle. To Birdie, not happy with the defense. We know he's one that wants that defensive element in his team. And side out bring up 5 set points with Casey Bell, the American, on serve. Overpass killed off by Busquets. It was Stewart that offered it up, and that will do us for set number 1. Team side out take it 25-19, and Busquets able to just adjust to attack that effectively overpass with the Dagus arm.
Yeah.
And clinical from side out late in the set.
Yeah, Busquets only had 1 kill prior to that in the set, so she was very appreciative of that set to get that one down, close things out.
Eyes always light up as a middle on an overpass. It's coming right back down the middle of the court, but always an important one to get a kill on as well.
So a couple of highlights out of set number 1. So Carla Mully, we've mentioned her quite a few times, 6 kills in that first set. Absolutely coming out the gates firing.
And 3 for Vislien of Linehouse. We'll take a quick break, and we'll join you shortly for set number 2. Good morning and welcome back to the National Sports Centre in Crystal Palace. Women's Mari Super League bronze medal game between Side Out Polonia and Lionhearts Venarius. Side Out taking the opening battle 25 points to 19 as the teams head on to court for set 2. Looks like both starting sevens will remain in the game after we saw some double subs late in set number 1. And it'll be the Greek setter Konstantina Skandali for Side Out to get us underway. As David Atanasova, Porsche, 1, 2, 3, easy as you like. Side Out for Venarius to start set number 2.
Exactly what you want to see early on in a set from Mallory Porsche, getting her straight in there.
As Jagielska with almost a punch. Vizlien gets Yilmaz away to her right. Good dig by the libero. Porsche in the back row. Good pass. Sora tips it over a little bit tight. Jagielska rolls it into the middle of the court. Lovely, smart piece of hitting by the young Brit.
Yeah, she did really well early on in that point to keep herself out of the net. You mentioned that she kind of punched that ball, but it was just what she could do to get a fingertip to it without putting her body into the net. Ace from Mully.
Ace by Carla Mully. We've seen her have some success from the baseline already. Came into this with 17 aces on the season before the Final Four weekend, having missed 8 games of the regular season, so nearly 2 a game. That might be a second in a row, not quite, but it will be a free ball that she will take. Perfect pass, as you'd expect. Tokarenko splits the block of Sora and Atanasova.
We'll watch that one again. Tokarenko again with the massive swings today, going at it with full confidence. Good adjustments there from Lionhearts on the service reception.
Mully from the pipe. Not seen many back row attacks by either side. Shrivadova into the block and this time gets the kill. Shrivadova went off the boil a little bit late in set number 1, but still a strong performance against her old club early on.
Yeah, 6 points in that first set, so already on track to well exceed what she did yesterday.
As the serve just misses the sideline, not by a lot though. That's a serve area you will live with, because
oh yeah, definitely.
a little bit closer, and that's an ace on the sideline.
Yeah, and you can see Coach Taberti saying, nodding his head at her, yeah, that's fine, because it wasn't very far out. That's would have been such an excellent serve.
As a big swing for Lionhearts, going back and forth. Again, there's a little bit more clean and clinical in their side out early on.
Yeah, it was a much better pass from Sviridova that time, so she just needs to figure out a way to get herself comfortable passing from both the left and right-hand sides of the court, depending on where she is rotationally. Smart from Sora there. Really quick thinking to put that directionally just outside of the arms of Skandali, who was waiting beneath the net to try and collect that one.
Tokarenko going to go to the roll shot. Stewart trying to get there, couldn't quite get the pancake block. There's a pancake dig. There's no such thing as a pancake block. But,
I mean,
well, a block of pancakes for breakfast, I suppose.
Yes.
Actually, that would be quite tempting right now.
Could be. Interesting.
As Vizlien into the block. Skandali nearly made the dig through.
Really smart from Vizlien to take advantage of the fact that Busquets was well back from the net, just going down the front of her body. Oh, that's a smart short serve. And an ace.
Shrivadova Oh, so Sora again from the service line. She's having such a strong outing. The Estonian middle. Had 3 aces in the outing against Leeds in January. That was her season high as Skandali puts the ball in the air, too close for Busquets to get to. And Lionhearts take a 2-point lead. 7 plays 5, set number 2, as these two London sides battle it out.
Be interesting to see if Polonia make a change to their setter this time. I'm wondering if they're giving Aiken a bit of a rest after the long match yesterday.
As a couple of service points in a row, you can kind of live with an error after that, as much as you never want them as a coach. As Tokarenko to Shrivadova, those two know each other so well from their years of playing together. As Busquets plays it, Antonasova sets Porsche over past Jagielska, but good defense by Busquets to deny the kill. As Mark Kontopoulos looks to the sky and frustrated with how his team's playing, but they win the point as the hitting error goes.
Yep, they just need to figure out a way to get Atanasova and Porsche firing together. That connection just not quite making what they need it to be.
As Viglian beats Mully and Busquets. They looked like they were lined up to get that one, but couldn't quite connect.
Really good positioning, but going between the hands of Mully, who's just kind of got the field goal going on instead of getting her hands close enough to press that ball down.
As Yilmaz with the pass to the 3-meter line. Mully's going to have to give up the free ball as Skandali could only put it vertical. Porsche through the gap between Mully and Busquets. Mallory Porsche starting to find success now.
And finally that set is just at the right height for her. You can see when it's there, when it's in the right position, she's swinging hard every single time. It's just whether or not she can make that connection.
Skandali gonna set Busquets on the slide. Well read by the Lionhearts defense. Got the double block there. Mully into the block of Porsche, and that's why Mallory Porsche is so dangerous on the defensive end.
Yeah, we mentioned that she had 20 solo blocks and 22 combo blocks so far this season. But look at this shutdown. Such a smart read.
Just keeping it, not trying to do too much with the ball either, Jess. You could just notice there on the replay, just going vertical, knowing that the height she'd got was enough. She didn't need to put too much downward on it, and to force Mark Kontopoulos into a timeout. 10 points to 7, the Lionhearts lead.
We can see in the chat that you guys have said that you're expecting Polonia to win this one. But if you guys want to keep track of things that are happening here at the Crystal Palace National Sports Center today, do find us on other social media as well, in addition to the YouTube channel. We're on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you'd like to call it, and so on and so forth, Facebook. My personal favorite is Instagram because the feed from Volleyball England is really good.
At the timeout, we're ready to go. It is Elena Viglian on the service line. Yilmaz can't get there, moving to her right, trying to help Tokarenko out. And the thing we had yesterday, aces out of timeouts.
Yes, I think by the end of the day, we had 4 aces out of timeouts yesterday. Mostly in the women's matches, but what a serve from Viglian.
Skandali, high set for Mully into the block. Antonasova bump set, perfectly placed, but Stewart can't quite connect, and that's frustrating for Lionhearts because it's not the easiest set to make. Back to the net, bump set, but that was a perfect placement by Antonasova.
Yeah, Stewart looking like she was trying to go for the high hands, not quite getting the fingertip touch that she was expecting, but a much better block setup for Lionhearts here.
As Shrivadova and Stewart nearly get in each other's way, but able to make something of it. As Carla Mully has to go with the right hand tip. Shrivadova from the back line faked the pipe attack and then went to a little two-handed push and found the floor.
Okay, this is silly that this was a kill. She's flying up from the backcourt. It's a really high ball. Polonia have ages to prepare, and then she puts both her hands up and just drops one on the 3-meter line.
As Mully going to get it back off the service eve, but only finds Atanasova. The setup with the block. We'll get to see that one again. She lines it up. Porsche was able to cut off the angle as well, but the line hit was what they wanted. There's some love in the chat for Mallory from, I assume, family relation Kim. Appreciate you joining us here at the Final Four live weekend. As a double sub for Mark Kontopoulos and his side. Maybe a little bit earlier in the set than he normally goes to. Jagielska and Skandali to the bench. Aiken and Rantala into the game. Jagielska's been quiet but not seen a lot of the ball as Carla Mully can't deal with the serve. Bell got a second touch on it, but Aiken was never going to do anything with it. And Maggie Stewart with the ace.
Great serve from Stewart, targeting Mully because she's just where Aiken's having to run past her to get out to her setting position.
As Mully goes cross-court into the block of Porsche. Recycled for Rantala, goes off-speed. Davitt with the one-handed stab. Shrivadova finds the orange on the floor. And all of a sudden, Lionhearts are romping away with set number 2. 15-8 is the lead. And side out need to talk it over. Jess, huge run of points for the team of Lionhearts Venarius.
Yep, they're on 4 straight points, and just before that, after they had one error, they were on 4 straight points before. So
eight of the last 9 points.
8 of the last 9 points. Coach Kontopoulos taking his second timeout across 7 points. He clearly thinks that something needs to change with his ladies.
Well, you saw it in the double sub being early and not on a serve rotation. That was a more performance-related decision, I believe.
Yeah, interesting to see that it was the double sub still, rather than just Aiken coming in for Skandali.
And potentially allows them to reverse later in the set.
Yes.
Was probably the thinking behind it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rantala in particular seen a lot of court time since Christmas. 7 games, 20 sets of action on the season. As that time, we get the service error out of the timeout.
Yep. Not an ace this time, but...
Feels like one or the other, and we should play heads or tails. Which one are we going to see next, ace or error?
Yes. In the first men's semifinal match yesterday, I kept jinxing the servers. I don't know what it was about me, but every time I said anything about a server, the ball just went out.
Overpass by Davitt.
Oh.
Huge pickup by Vislien. Can Lionhearts win the point? They can't on the first attempt as Mully waits on it. Davitt off the block touch. Porsche has to reach for it. Not quite the perfect connection again. Tokarenko from the pipe beats Porsche's block. Big momentum point for side out.
That's really massive for them to get 2 points out of that timeout. One of them was on the service error, but to take the next point off the big swing of Tokarenko from the pipe.
Some of the Team Newcastle men's players in the house as Porsche with a ridiculous stab to keep that ball alive. Blocked and effectively a free ball off the first touch. Porsche underhand, back of the hand like pancake action, flip over the net. Mully pushes it wide. Lionhearts Venarius win a point they had no right to win.
Completely agree with that. As soon as Porsche put over that really awkward stabbing ball just to get that over after the great chase down by the Venarius players, they really should have put that next one away.
As Tokarenko gets haste, and this set feels like it is only going one way. Mallory Porsche with it.
And finally, she gets one in. That was her first serve in, actually, in the match.
As Bell responds through the middle attack. We haven't seen side out run the middle too much. Surprised we haven't maybe seen Abby Russell as well in this game after the performance she had in the early sets yesterday and the success she had the last time these two sides met in February, albeit in a slightly different outside position. But with this game going long, you wonder if that's maybe a sub to give Yulia Tokarenko a bit of a break as well. As Atanasova goes to the middle and Kursora, perfect placement.
And I think this is the difference between Lionhearts in this set and Lionhearts in the last set. The passing has been so good. They have been firing through the middle, really taking advantage of the height there.
As Mully, Aiken, high set for Tokarenko, and that ball was hit hard.
I mean, Tokarenko trying to put a hole in the floor there.
As Casey Bello had an ace late in set number 2, is going to get replaced here on a serving substitution with
So Millard in again.
Millard.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier in the set, so probably Busquets is going to stay on serve as Atanasova tries to go across to Vislien. Tokarenko, another big hit, but David with a perfect pass. Back set for Shrivadova. She tips it. Mully, great cover. The ball clipped the antenna. Referee's a little bit late to spot it. Davide Taberni wanted the call early. Looks like they're going to reverse the sub early. Well, that's one way to avoid forgetting to sub out your middle. Do it after the serve and before the, so she can walk straight back on court.
Yep. That would be the way to do it so that people don't forget. It is a very important point.
As Shrivadova pushes the serve wide.
Again, you can see that they're aiming for those really deep corners. They have a purpose with where they're trying to place their serves. So I'm sure the coach Taberti is not going to be too upset with the service errors because they are still putting that pressure on. It's not going into the net.
Aiken goes line. Stewart pass just off the net tape. Mully with the defense. Aiken's going to set Rantala with the bump set, and she finds the back corner. And start out trying to not go down without a fight. They're still trailing by 5, but a little bit of sign of life in set number 2 here. As Atkin, who some of you might remember went down hard in set number 4 of last year's gold medal game against Durham. Mully nearly keeps it alive, but Aiken on the left-handed stab couldn't quite get there. But Merv Aiken went down with an injury in set number 4 last year in the final, which felt like a huge moment when it happened. She tried to return in set 5, gave it a go, but you could tell she was struggling a little bit as her side narrowly missed out on that gold medal. They'll have to settle for bronze at best this year, but she wants to make sure she gets another medal in the cabinet. Shrivadova, great set from the back row to Stewart.
I don't know how Maggie Stewart saw that open line from the angle that that ball was coming from deep one, but she saw it and she said, oh yeah, I'm going to put that ball down on the line.
Great vision, because that ball was that line was in her blind spot for a lot of the time. Maybe she got a call from teammate as Aiken back set. Tokarenko tip in between Vislien and Sorag, both trying to get there on the cover. As
Tokarenko.
Here comes Abby Russell. She'll replace Carla Mully. So maybe Mark Kontopoulos thinking long game. 5-setter. Mully stayed in the game yesterday. So Abby Russell to the outside position that we predicted, Jess.
Yes, exactly that. It's almost
Not
as
going to
though
say we did our homework, but we may have done some homework.
this will also give Polonia a bit of extra blocking height in the front court.
Good luck blocking that one by Porsche. Huge swing once again.
Since that one a few points ago where they had the good connection the last time Porsche was in the front court, it looks like whatever her and Atanasova have done, they are now firing on all cylinders. I'm expecting to see a lot more Porsche.
As Russell on the cross court finds David. Vislien from the back, and Busquets with the block.
Well read from Busquets there to block that one. Porsche is almost in the right position to do a bit of cover there, but I don't think she had enough time to get her hands up. And the first referee just asking who the on-court captain is for Polonia, and Merv Aiken sticking her hand up for that one.
Oh, obviously with Yilmaz on the bench. Busquets, good serve. Atsensova off the 3-meter line, and that ball just a little touch off the top of the block.
It looked like Tokarenko touched that as well as she was going. I'm sorry, it would have been Busquets that touched that. They are defending in 6 with their middles.
Yilmaz onto a knee. Russell from the 3-meter line stops, gets the cover on the Porsche blocks. Gonna have to reset. Little tip, Vislien with the stab. And Stewart from the pipe. Rantala going to attack, goes tip. Double cover, but ball heading out to the left. And side out.
Smart
Win
tip
the point.
there from Rantala. But I loved that moment in the middle where there was a block from Porsche, but I think it was actually off of her head, and she didn't know where the ball had gone. A little bit of confusion, but well recovered.
As the ball goes over the baseline from Anna Rantala. We have 7 set points for London Lionhearts.
Massive turnaround from that 25-19 loss in set number 1.
As Abigail Russell will wait into the block of Atsensova and Sora. Long set, Shrivadova, pancake save, great cover by Rantalan, then Yilmaz to keep it alive. Sora, however, finds the floor, and London Lionhearts Venerius 25-17 wins set number 2 here at the National Sports Centre in Crystal Palace. We'll take a very, very quick break, and we'll bring in a special guest for a quick chat. And welcome back to Crystal Palace. And for the first time all weekend, we said we'll bring you some special guests, and we've got one up in the commentary position with us now. Marco from Venerius, great to have you with us. How have you found Final Four weekend so far?
Yeah, that's quite fun. It's really entertaining. It's first time for me to be here. First season that we sponsor the team, and already here, it's a nice feeling. And we just won the first set of the weekend, so even better.
And I know you're really active with the team. Obviously, you were at training on Thursday when I came down as well. Just talk about how this partnership started and the growth you've seen.
Yeah, basically the ladies came for a wine tasting in our shop, and they told me the story about them, that they train next to our shop and that they play the National League and everything. So I said, why don't I join and support? And from there we started, and basically we sponsor the team. They come to the shop every 1 or 2 Friday in the month. They come, we chat about the game, then we go to the away game. Either I go or the store manager goes, and we have a really nice relationship with all the people from the team.
And obviously the T-shirts as well. I know you inspired design. What went into thinking of those? Because they've been great to see in the crowd this weekend.
Yeah, basically I said it's a memory. We need to remember this moment because we don't know next year whether we will make it or not. But especially for the ladies, I think they deserve a memory, something that stayed, and that's why we did them. We did 100, and we gave it all to the supporters. And yesterday we were all together, gathering with the same T-shirt, which I think it's nice.
Indeed, it's definitely been great to see. And just talk about how the partnership's kind of grown in strength. You talked about having the players down the shop, but how much has it meant for you guys to have them on board as well?
For us, it's quite nice because every time the customers come to the shop, they see we have the kit in the shop, exposed, so everyone sees it. And we are trying to build this sense of community. So we are a local shop. They are the local team. Why don't we gather together? Why don't we know about it? We always post the results of the team on social media, the links to watch the live streams. And we also did some away game all together, traveling together. It's quite nice. If we can be a part of something, it's always better.
And I'm sure, if they go with a bronze medal, you've probably got a nice little treat, a couple of bottles of wine maybe?
Yeah, that's what I hope. That's what we are hoping, yeah. Fingers crossed.
And if people are in the London area, how do they find out about you?
If they want some nice wine, they can just Google Vinarius or check us on Instagram, and we deliver the best wine in the town, obviously.
And the shop?
And the shop is in my land, so Roman Road, actually, an historic street of London. Come to visit us.
Well, Marco, appreciate you joining us in the commentary booth. We'll let you go enjoy set number 3.
Thank you so much.
Keep your fans engaged, but thank you for your help. And we'll see you next season, no doubt.
Of course, thank you for asking.
No worries at all.
Cheers.
There is Marco, part of the Venerius team, obviously sponsoring London Lionhearts. And we'll let him head back over. And we appreciate him joining us. His team head out onto court number 3, having won that set. And Jess Smith back alongside me. Jess, takeaway for you for set number 3. Set number 2 was?
They started to get Porsche firing, have Lionhearts. They really stepped up their service reception. They got both of their middles firing as well, because Sora had quite a number of points in that set. And I think the big news story for Lionhearts today is that Sviridova is firing today. She has already had 10 kills in 2 sets. And she did 9 in 3 sets yesterday, so massive difference for her. But the service pressure that they're putting on Polonia is really putting them off.
Set number 3 underway. We'll get to lineups in a second, but we got to talk about that monster swing to open up.
And this is exactly what we are coming to expect from Yulia Tokarenko.
Down the
Hammer
line.
of a swing. Davitt just can't handle that heat.
So, Lionhearts going back to the trusted 7 that opened set 1 and set 2, but changes on the Polonia side. Antonisova, Porsche, that's not changing. That middle connection. Antonisova really warming up with Mallory Porsche, and Porsche having a strong game of her own.
Yep, the Polonia defense there expecting a heavy swing from Porsche, and then she's come in with a bit of finesse.
Tokarenko, high ball on serve receive. Russell lines it up and goes down the line, and Abigail Russell got a chance late in set 2 on the outside position. Opens up set number 3, still with Carla Mully on the bench. And she'll be rewarded with the kills. So, Skandali back in at setter. Jagielska back in at the opposite position. But it's Abigail Russell having another opportunity. Reminder for those of you that joined us a little bit late. Russell, game day decision. Yulia Tokarenko ill. Multiple other outsides missing. Mark Contopoulos went, what are my options? And he went to the beach player from Arizona in Abigail Russell, and she delivered. As Bell goes halfway into the net. Abigail Russell, 15 kills, 31 attempts. You think that's impressive? How about 0 errors in a position you do not play or train?
That is really impressive. But I think that just is a testament to her beach skills as well, because obviously she's used to adjusting to any type of set in any type of condition.
Atanasova, Shrivadova into the block of Busquets. Huge lineup. Despite the 2 options of Sora and Shrivadova, able to get across was Busquets. Great footwork.
Great footwork, great reach with the arms. I think that's her first or second block of the match so far, so really good read from her.
Jagielska, Shrivadova, Vislien into the block of Skandali, pushing the line, finds the point,
and you can
we're
see
tied at 3.
Just how much that means to the Lionheart squad to keep themselves in this one. So it's tied up at 3-all. Everybody giving a good shout for that one. Much better service reception from Polonia already in this set, though.
Russell gets the block touch to Shrivadova, and Vislien, this time from the right side of the court, finds the kill. Saw a minute ago on the left as well. Versatility of the hitters this weekend, especially in the Mari Women's Super League, have been shown. A lot of teams happy to swap people through position 2 and 4.
Yes, definitely. And it's that flexibility that makes teams so good.
Russell, great pass, but miscommunication. Yilmaz goes deep, gets Shrivadova scrambling. Sora can only put a half a swing on it. Russell tips down the line. Antonisova out of system. Bump set by David, not good. As Russell gets another opportunity. Will she get a third? No, we'll go pipe attack with Tokarenko. David, perfect pass. The crowd loving that one. Vislien has to wait on it and beats Tokarenko. Huge point 1 for Lionhearts.
That's a great off-pace swing from Vislien there off of that bump set.
As the ever-experienced Masha Shrivadova. Russell, this time not the perfect pass we saw a minute ago. As Jagielska puts the ball over, but not on the floor, and block touch doesn't matter. Oh, in fact, I think it came off the net tape, and the ball just inside or on the sideline. We'll have a look at that again, Jess.
Maggie Stewart, I don't know if this is luck or skill or maybe a combination of both of those things. I think if it hadn't touched the tape, it definitely would have been in. But just that trip off the tape, Polonia thinking that one was out. Miscommunication here for Lionhearts. So they've got a free ball, but the tip is covered.
As the ball misses the line, Russell not quite having the success of last time. Davide, you can see him on his screen, excited. His side lead by 4, and you believe they believe.
It looks like there's going to be a card awarded. They're cheering for their yellow card, our Lionhearts.
Well, I suppose you can't get too many yellow cards at this time of the year to result in bans either. I don't know if bans carry over if he gets thrown out the game, but that's a next year problem.
I think they can still get fines.
Maybe can we pay him off with a bottle of Venarius wine instead?
Are you implying that the referees can be bought off?
No, I'm saying the fine is paid by wine instead of money.
Okay. Maybe.
Definitely not the way you were thinking about it, but
just making sure here.
As after delay, Russell, good pass. She goes into a more natural middle position and twists the arm and finds the kill. Nice sense of the change by Abigail Russell, and again, experience of this line side-out group showing in moments just to try and settle this team down. We saw how quickly it unravelled yesterday before they did make a great effort in set number 5 as Russell goes over the baseline.
Yeah, so Russell just made a really great adjustment on that last point to get a kill off of a tip, and then has come back with a service error. Interesting to see Polonia are leading Tokarenko in the pass here and hiding Jagielska with the traditional opposite view. And Sora a bit frustrated with herself as she puts that one out long.
As the side-out fans starting to try and encourage their team. First time we've heard some of those chants as a miscommunication. Davitt does well to keep the ball alive. It's not easy as Dixon. Garlic tries to go over, joust at the net. Vislien with the pickup, as does Anton Sova. Another free ball for side-out. You feel like this is a must-win point. Tokarenko does not win it. That is a monster by Porsche. I think it was her.
I think it's Vislien that gets
Vislien?
that ball, yes. Look at that with the outside hand pushing straight in.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. It'll go down as a assisted block for both of them.
Yes.
Huge point won by Lionhearts, and they believe.
The incredible defense in that point from Lionhearts. So good. Oh, that's a great pass from Tokarenko.
Yulia with the tip. And again, Lionhearts have struggled defensively with those tips and rolls into that 3 to 4 meter zone.
Which is really ironic because in the point before that, they picked up 2 really short tips, and they're just struggling with the ones that are a little bit further back.
Shrivadova. Stewart into the block. Davitt nearly with the pickup, but Casey Bell, too much angle on it. And we are 9-7. Set number 3, 1 set apiece here at Final Four 2025. As Porsche, that's ridiculous. Bell knew nothing about it. Lionhearts are scrambling and have to give up a free ball. Great defense being played. Jagielska beats Stewart one-on-one.
What a point. Good gracious. Is this going to show us the...
No, we're going to miss. We're going to see
it's just going to show us the
kill.
Okay. Really smart swing from Jagielska there to use the hands of the outside blocker, knowing that Porsche is late to get there. But that bit of scramble defense from Polonia is exactly what you want to see from a team at this level, keeping themselves in this match. It's 9-8 here, so Lionhearts lead at the minute, but very tight, and it could still go either way.
And the momentum swings in full effect. There's only a few points to go. It felt like Lionhearts were in control of this set, and all of a sudden the 3 straight points bring it back to a 1-point game. As Porsche, quick ball, finds the inside of the court. No argument from anyone but Yilmaz. She looks at her coach who says the ball was in.
Yep.
Line judge to our right, all over that one as well.
Coach Tiberty will be very pleased with that performance out of the timeout.
He won't be pleased with that serve, though.
No, Stewart just really struggling to get the depth correct today.
Reminder, this is game 1 of 4 today, as that one off the net tape, and they're going to go out of rotation on Lionhearts, saying presumably that people moved out of position too early. Oh no, I think Vislien may have been off the back of the court.
I think Vislien was standing in position 1 to the right of Stewart, but Stewart has just served, so she should be inside,
But yeah, she took responsibility for it, so either way, 3-point. Porsche with an angle tip, well recovered by Russell to get off the net, and Jagielska goes over the top of the block, gets the ball down in time, and all of a sudden, team side out, back in the lead.
Yeah, Jagielska just showing some court vision and some volleyball IQ well in advance of her years. She's quite young, so to see her out here smashing this is very impressive.
Trividova finds Yilmaz, and they're going to call a net touch.
Yeah, Bell just turning as she was leaving from that block, her back touched the net. She probably didn't even know she did it.
But not a lot of protesting either, which always gives the game away just a little bit.
So keeping things even here, 11-all.
Skandali, Bell hung in the air for an age waiting for that one. Dug out, but over, and Vislien on the cover. Atanasova gets it over, 3 opportunity for Bell, no blockers up, and she's not going to make that mistake.
Yep, Bell's going to take full advantage of that because that's almost a perfect set for her, making up for that net touch violation on the previous point.
The Loyola Chicago graduate. Up the service line, just about clips the top of the net tape and over. Sora pushes the ball just beyond the baseline.
Yeah, that ball just a bit low. Atanasova, again, starting to drop those sets a bit lower. We saw this early on in set number 1. She needs to get them just that, couple of inches higher, just high enough for her middles to make a good connection.
As Bell, again, close to net. This time, no net tape. Trividova into the block.
Great swing from Trividova here. She's been a bit quiet this set.
First point?
In this set, yes. First point. So she was top scorer in the lead up to this for Lionhearts.
So the lefty Atanasova on serve. Middle attack run. Davitt with the left-handed. Keep up. Yilmaz, another dig for the league leader. And the block just misses the sideline. But you can tell Lionhearts are feeling comfortable, getting a lot of block touches and making rallies hard to win.
Yeah, great swing there from Russell, taking advantage of the arm closest to the pin, just putting that ball out.
Stewart, not a good pass, goes backwards if anything. Vislien though with a great swing from the 5-meter mark. Davitt, bump set, Vislien plays for the touch. Atanasova going to spread it out. Trividova, cut angle, cross court, 2-2. Don't see that too often.
That is a cut shot for the ages. Great swing there from Svirdova.
As you can see, the trumpeter loving that one. Just to the right of your scoreboard at home. Keeping the crowd engaged as the crowd's starting to fill out, and they've definitely woken up as Russell missed connection. And we are tied at 14 apiece.
What a set so far. The passing from Tokarenko has gotten much, much better, although the Lionhearts are still targeting her.
I think it helps when you know the ball's coming your way as well. Shrivadova over the baseline.
I think that's a good point. So sometimes it helps if you know it's coming at you, but if you're really struggling with it, it's hard mentally to deal with that because you know you're being targeted. So it's all about that mental game.
Stewart tries to play for the tip.
I think she's convinced that she wiped that off of the forearm of Scandali, but no admittance to a touch.
Little shake of the head as well by her as the pass way off court. Shrivadova from the back makes Russell play defense. Busquets on the slide. We haven't seen that run as much, but it'll be a free ball again for side out. They haven't been as clean as this time. Finds the hand of Stewart into the seam. Busquets again on the slide.
Yeah, really great slide attack. We saw quite a lot of this yesterday in both of the women's matches. Lots of slides happening. Haven't seen very many today. I think we've mostly seen them from Polonia.
David. Islien. Yilmaz again with the pickup. Jagielska splits the seam of Atanasova and Shrivadova, and I expect that is going to be timeout coming for Lionhearts. Indeed it is, and side out, who trailed 7 points to 3, now have a 4-point gap to come back with. So you can see the reaction here on the Jagielska swing.
That's a great opposite swing, and that's exactly what you want your opposite to do, right? You want them to be able to play that out-of-system ball, the high ball that's coming from across the court, and just do something smart with it. And to say that she's only 18 and she's out here making those types of decisions in those really pressured moments is such an exciting thing. We'll definitely want to see her in future. I know she's about to go to the U.S. to start her collegiate journey, but I'm sure we'll see her back before too long.
And the one thing we know with Alice Jagielska, we'll definitely see her on the beach.
Yes, we will.
I believe there are some workings in progress of potential events this summer, along with obviously the normal deep dish tour and all the other things, Bucks finals, as well as a Nevsa event, I believe, back up in the east of the country. As Busquets again on the slide, finds another kill.
That's 2 slide kills in a row from her perspective, with Jagielska's really great backcourt opposite swings sandwiched in between those.
Vislien into the block of Tokarenko, finds the point. Smart piece of hitting by the Romanian.
Really smart to see. Tokarenko's up and she's pressing straight instead of pressing into the court, so just taking advantage of that hand and going off.
The fine margins of volleyball. Lionhearts Venarius trail by 4. Need to find some ways to win points on serve, but if Tokarenko is swinging like that, good luck.
Yeah, the defense has absolutely no chance in this. Porche is way late to that because she's getting held by the middle because those slide attacks had been so effective from Busquets. So giving Tokarenko an easy one-on-one.
Pari Millard, as expected, into the game as a serving sub. Shrivadova well handled. Porche.
We have to watch that one again because this is a hammer. She says, Tokarenko, you can swing like that from the outside, but look, I can do it from the middle.
So the double sub we saw in set number 1 for Venarius comes in. A1 and Nebrega in. Nebrega to the service line. And obviously that serving sub already sport back. So when it goes front court, Busquets can just check straight back into the game. Might as well get all your subs done at once. And Lionheart's best statistical server, Nebrega, onto the service line. She goes to Russell. Tight set for Scandali. Tokarenko can't do a lot with it. So Nebrega steps into the front court. Sets for Stewart and she finds the kill.
Great swing from Stewart there. She's been a bit quiet today. She was really strong yesterday, but very, very good. And really smart tip coverage from Iwan. So picking up that tip that the Lionhearts have been struggling with all match long.
1 point on serve, probably not enough for Lionhearts if they want to get back into the set. We need a couple more. Can they find one? Not there as Tokarenko went to the roll and it clipped Porsche's hands on her retrieval and took it away from A1 just a little bit too much. So the side-out lead remains 4, 21-17, bronze medal game. Porsche, not a hard hit ball, but a well-placed one to the right of the Sierra Scandali.
It looked like she saw that Scandali was way too far forward for that ball. She stood basically on the 3-meter line, I guess waiting for a hammer, and then Porsche just putting that a little bit past her on the line.
Jagielska, big swing from the left side into the block. You could hear a little scream from her. She put a lot of power into it, but couldn't win the point. Davitt, tight pass. Nebrega finds Porsche. Defense by Scandali, maybe a little hint of a lift, but referee's happy. Shrivadova goes angle, and Abigail Russell, a little bit flat-footed on the back, expecting power, comes up short. And Mark Kontopoulos and his coaching team are going to talk it over. Lionhearts back to within 2. They are not out of this set just yet.
Yeah, massive comeback from them. They were down 4 points. I'm sorry, they were down 5 points just a few moments ago and have definitely fought their way back with 4 out of the last 5 points going their direction. They've done a great job of making sure that they're picking up every ball. They're making a touch on everything. They've been getting the middles firing. It'd be good to see if they can continue to get the middles swinging, but out towards that line in position number 1, because I think Scandali on defense in the middle is really far inside the court, so there's plenty of space on that wide angle for both of the middles to go at. So Maggie Stewart missed her serve the last time there was a timeout ahead of it.
She's not missing that one, but she goes at Yilmaz. Great pass. Tokarenko has to wait on it. Not the perfect set by Scandali. Shrivadova, that's tight. The ball off the antenna.
Yeah, I don't think there was a whole lot that Sviridova could have done with that ball. It's a little too wide for her to do anything. You could see she's trying to push it back inside the court, but just clipping the antenna on the way through.
And you would if you just tip it up nice and easy. The ball's coming back onto the floor very quickly the other way. So Shrivadova, important moment for A1 on the tip. Bell, Yilmaz and Scandali scrambling. Tokarenko from the pipe, and A1 plays the ball that I think's going wide. And side out have the 4-point lead, and that might just be that for set number 3.
I think you can actually see Tokarenko's face in that huddle of the team. She looked really surprised because I think she was convinced that ball was going well out.
And again, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do off the bench. You lose the rhythm of the game just a little bit. Good pass by Shrivadova. A1 going to get it back, and a complete miss hit. And unfortunately for A1, not what she wanted on the impact on the double sub. And side out bring up 5 set points.
Definitely a back and forth battle here today.
Shrivadova and Davitt nearly getting each other's way. Porsche still in the front court, beats Scandali.
And again, you can see, I've just said this a couple moments ago, Scandali on that attack from the middle is standing really far inside the court.
No serving sub, down 4 set points. So Porsche is going to have to try and rescue this from the back row. Jagielska not going to win it at the first time of asking. Shrivadova, Tokarenko already read the line on that tip. Russell, well kept up by Lionhearts. Scandali back set. Jagielska finds the floor inside the 3-meter line. Porsche from position.
Again, you know, we've mentioned it a
get that.
couple of times, Jagielska with that court vision and such smart decision making. Great time to throw in the tip. We're just going to take a short break here, and we will be back in a few moments' time for set number 4.
I love that I'm doing that play. If that's the kid is on the sideline, we've got to do something with that. And welcome back to Crystal Palace. Team side out Polonia, 1 set away from the bronze medal, having taken set number 3, 25-20 over Lionheart's Venarius. Jess, what are you seeing on the numbers through 3 sets?
I mean, no surprise to anybody, but Yulia Tokarenko, 13 kills so far. Absolutely throwing down the hammer. We've had 7 from Jagielska, 6 from Mully, although she didn't play in the last set, so that's still an impressive number to say she's not been on the court. Busquets is now on 4 kills, so you can see that slide starting to have an impact on the match. And on the Lionheart side, Sviridova flying in with 13 kills, so leading that stat.
Elena Vislien, the opposite as well, didn't close the set out. Maybe that's a sub Davide Tabuddy would want back, has 10. And of course, 9 down the middle for Mallory Porsche, as Lionheart's opting for a middle change to start set number 3. Olivia Moore will have the set start over Kursora, who did quite enough in set number 3, having had a strong set 1 and 2. Apart from that, Lionheart stay with the trusted group of Vislien, Shrivadova, Atanasova, Porsche, Stewart, and Davitt. Side out. We'll have serve first. They're going to stick with Abby Russell in the outside position. She'll be joined by Yilmaz. Skandali still setting Bell, Tokarenko and Jagielska as set number 4 underway. Reminder, when these sides met the first time, Lionhearts did win sets 2 and 4. Can they force a 5th set for the 4th time in a row here in Crystal Palace? As Jagielska, Vislien with the pickup. Shrivadova's going to run around it and put a somewhat decent swing on it. Bell into the block of Porsche, but recycled. Jagielska can only tip. Porsche with a lefty tip, and Yilmaz forgets that she can dive on the floor. Rare mistake by the lib.
That is an incredible point. Okay, you said Yilmaz didn't get that last one, but she made 2 really good digs and had 1 incredible bit of block coverage for her team.
But didn't win the point. Does
No.
it really count?
Maybe not.
Maybe in the stat sheet. What does count is that ace by Mallory Porsche.
Right, starting it off with 2 straight points. Getting her team fired up. I'm interested to see what Moore does, because she was quite effective yesterday.
Russell balling it. Really good set from Jagielska considering where she was located. Atanasova goes with the tip. Bell tries to force the 1-touch kill, and she'll get the block instead.
Interesting from Bell, because that ball almost looking like a throw. Referee happy with that one, though. A little bit of a scramble play, but much better in that point from Polonia.
Atanasova. Moore off the bench. First touch. First kill of the game. Olivia Moore hitting not her best season. Just under 100 total on the season. 25 kills now on the year. Less than 100 swings those. Part of that big middle rotation. They've also got Christina Tiki on the bench that they can go to, as Bell does well to get good contact on that one. Tight. Shrivadova keeps it alive. Vislien going to try and go angled to Jagielska. And she'll go down the line, but miss.
Really well watched by Davitt there, because it's very easy in that position to try and play that ball anyway. I think Coach Tiberti just asking for a towel because there's a bit of sweat on the court.
As the line judge is just retrieving one. There's plenty around the court. The one thing we're not lacking in Crystal Palace is towels or water. Luckily, the 2 of the 3 swimming pools that are normally full sadly remain empty, but definitely has helped drop the heat a little bit over the past few years as Antonasova finds Yilmaz. Russell steps into that one.
That's a great swing from Russell there, taking full advantage of that one-on-one. This again with a big block, but Russell just had too much angle to go at.
As Bell over the baseline. Russell pulling Scandali well off the net. She'll get it back. Good set. As Stewart can wait on it. Yilmaz to her right makes the dig. Tokarenko from the pipe, more able to close off some of the angle. Antonasova playing defense as Vislien into the net. And an error brings side out back to within 2 early on set number 4.
Definitely some really good defensive maneuvers from both sides in that point.
Again, I think quality of the defense, teams struggling to find quick kills. They are finding kills, but it's longer into the rallies as Vislien finds the sideline. And you do wonder, Jess, as this game starts to go longer, if any effect of the 5 set from yesterday for side out will roll into Lionheart's favour, because as much as you don't like getting blown off the floor as they did in that semi-final number 1 yesterday, they are 2 sets fresher than their opponents.
They are, though I think Polonia has a slightly deeper bench, so in theory, they should be able to cope with the extra effort.
As the ball goes flying into our presentation table that is starting to be set up, we will present the bronze medals at the conclusion of this game, which I think the big winners of are probably Team Newcastle if they pull off a bronze medal, because they don't have to wait around to get back up home. Obviously, a lot of London and southern-based teams here. As the kill by Stewart, the side-out defense falling asleep, and Mark Kontopoulos immediately goes to his coaching staff, says, hit that timeout buzzer, and they're going to talk it over, trailing 8 points to 3.
I mean, that was a really high, really long, really floaty tip. There was absolutely no reason that all 3 players on the court there should have been looking at each other, almost looking like the Spider-Man meme, where they're all pointing at one another. But Coach Kontopoulos, I think, just trying to get his team fired up, because you can tell that the Lionhearts are completely fired up right now. Every time they score a point, every time something happens, they are absolutely excited about it. You can see some of the players are cheering mid-rally for little actions that happen. Polonia still consistent, but don't look to have that fire just yet. Can they bring it back?
As timeout, Olivia Moore, first serve of the day, unless I'm mistaken. Russell has to play cover on her own block. Busquets just about caught the hand of Stewart, so able to replay it, but free ball. See Antonasova sprinting to the net. She'll set Porsche. Jagielska, huge dig. Antonasova finds Porsche. This time the ball a little bit too far away from the right hand of Mallory Porsche, and she pushes it into the net, but credit goes to Jagielska with the defense.
I think that was the first one of Porsche's actual attacks, like a strong swing, that's been defended today. And Polonia come out of that one with the point.
Atanasova back sets, gets the open lane. Vislien, Jagielska again says no. Tokarenko goes to the setter with the tip. Overpass, legally kept up, but that is touch number 4.
That's a really great read from Busquets and Scandali to get up there on that block. Smart leave there from Svirdova.
as Vizlien over the baseline. And again, the errors just starting to creep in for Lionhearts, and that's really what's keeping Side Out in this game and this set right now, Jess, is Lionhearts errors where Side Out are forcing Lionhearts to win points.
Yep, completely agree with that. So they've had 3 errors. They've given away some easy points.
Minus 2 serve errors in the set, but we'll ignore that fact. As Stewart splits the block.
Absolutely going for pure power to push through the hands. These ladies are looking at the arms of Scandali and saying, she's not pressing hard enough. She doesn't have that strong core to push at the ball.
As Tokarenko gets aced.
Exactly what we would expect from Lionhearts on the serving. Target Tokarenko, so you can see that they've now shifted her out.
Jagielska on that passing unit. Tokarenko with a lefty tip. David able to read it. Shrivadova, who has definitely quietened it down. Scandali tries to tip Porsche. Tries to return favour and finds the easy winner. But Porsche shuts down Tokarenko.
Roof. That has to be the block of the weekend so far, because this is so beautiful. Oh, I wish we had the side angle on this one, because that's going straight down.
Oh, subs coming.
Gonna watch this one more time. Look at this. Boom. Straight down.
I'm not sure how much of that is on the setup, but Mark Kontopoulos gonna make that change. Merva Aiken into the game along with Anna Rantalova. That's Jagielska to the bench. Feels a little bit unfortunate for Alice, the way she's been playing defense in this set in particular. Mark just double checking what rotation they're in. Don't want an error on the double sub.
All right, so Tokarenko is now going to be back into the service reception with this double sub happening, because they no longer have the option of putting Jagielska in.
Still some discussions with our referees, just double checking. I think they're just double checking they've got the serve, the double sub in the right order in the book to make sure there's not a rotation, because it was the double sub.
He's just asking who was the last server, so he knows where Aiken.
Yeah, because the double sub, now obviously normally you do it on serve or just after a serve, but it's kind of mid-sequence, so really good piece of coaching by the experienced Mark Kontopoulos is going to use the timeout.
Okay.
He realises he's messed up, or the team have messed up.
Okay.
I'm just going to try and take one headphone off to see what the hell.
I think what's going to happen is the first referee is going to tell Yilmaz that this was an improper request for a timeout, that Coach Kontopoulos has taken quite a long time to sort out his rotation, and he has missed his
a delay
window.
of game warning / yellow card would be fair.
Yeah. That would bring us to 1 yellow card per team. As a reminder that
2 officials.
So we've got Markey, who is our first referee, is just talking to the second referee, Jampanya, about what exactly is going on, trying to clear this up. So they're just having a discussion about it.
Right, let's see what is going on. We're going back over to the table. The side-out coaching staff have got together and figured it out.
This is going to go down as an improper request.
Stewart is talking to. So side-out did ask for timeout.
Right. It's going to be classed as an improper request. They've missed their window to call a timeout. That'll be remarked on the score sheet.
Don't know, because there's no official delay warning.
I am surprised that there's no delay warning. Very surprised about that. If I were
the one thing is side-out are not out of rotation. We know that much. As Tokarenko goes tip, well covered by Vizlien. Shrivadova off the antenna.
Yeah. Really tough out of a really long delay to the game like that. If I were...
That's called icing the server to a new level.
I mean, that is a completely new level. If I were Stewart, I'd be going to ask the referee why there was no delay warning.
Well, she did approach the stand, so... Antonasova. Tight angle for Shrivadova off the block touch. Aiken able to come off from blocking, and Tokarenko tips it into the open space, and the double subs working immediately. 2 straight points for side out.
And sometimes it's not necessarily about the setter themselves. It's not that necessarily that Scandali was not having a good game. It's just changing the tempo of the offense.
Davitt, a rare, not good pass for her. Tip, Rantala, think got it up, but nothing on it in terms of power. No one else is getting near that volleyball before it bounced off the floor.
Really smart there from Sviridova, taking advantage of a player that's maybe not as warm.
Russell, Aiken, Tokarenko, cross court. Good dig by Srividova. Stewart's going to chase it down. Antonasova going to elect to put it over rather than trying to set. They did have an extra touch there. Porsche can't play defense to keep it in the air.
Yeah, smart from Tokarenko again to just be taking advantage of the fact that Porsche is in the backcourt on that rotation because she had just served.
Antonasova into Moore, blocked by Russell.
Incredible block coverage there by Davitt.
She will get it back. Antonasova going to put it out to Srividova. Another long rally, good cover by Vislien. Antonasova trying to get a rare kill for her tally. It's Russell, ball off the antenna. And side out, starting to win some of the longer rallies that it felt like Venarius were winning earlier in the match.
Yep. So Polonia here just starting to close this gap. It's 10-13. They've had 3 of the last 4 points, so they'll be much more pleased with this run.
Coach Davide Tabari just talking to his coaching staff, maybe thinking timeout. Monster block, Abigail Russell, and there is the time for a timeout potentially as Bell and Russell, the two natural middles combining, and all of a sudden 6 points has become 2.
It has. That has closed very quickly. I just want to say, just watching Russell for the last couple of points. So as somebody that normally would play as a middle and she's now playing in an unfamiliar outside position, she's been doing a really good job of taking control in the backcourt, defending in 6. She took a couple of free balls when the libero's not on court, taking charge from back there. And I think that bit of natural leadership within the team that's not just coming from the captain is so important to make sure that you're resilient and you can come back from it.
Also think the natural blocking in the front row there, like you could see she's kind of sitting a little bit more in the middle. Like the last 2, she's been able to get touched by naturally stepping inside where she feels a little bit more comfortable as well. So being able to make some of those reads. As Antonasova tight, Olivia Moore with a ridiculous twist of the hands to tight, basically cut shot mentality, as Carla Mully and Yulia Tokarenko are going to swap in. So return into the game for Carla Mully. Mully, not quite an overpass, but Aiken couldn't do anything but tip it over. And Vislien finds the floor.
Great swing there. Really good read by both Sviridova and Davitt to look and know that Aiken was going to tip that ball. Lionhearts get themselves back 4 points in the lead.
Mully, Aiken, Bell into the net. And side out, having not burnt the second time out when they wanted to use it, nearly out of rotation, now use it.
Yep.
Trailing 16-11. Jess Smith starting to get the sense we're going back to our favourite. 15-point volleyball, set 5.
Yes, it's definitely looking that way. And with the swings that we've had between these two teams, with the momentum swings, we could very well see this go to extra time in the 5th set as well. If that happens, we'll just warn you guys now that we're probably going to be delayed on our next match. Which will have a
100% if it goes to 5, because we also have the bronze medal presentation after this game as well. And I think I kind of get the feel that both teams know it. Mallory Eagles and Newcastle Knights will square off in the men's bronze medal game in Dynamic Men's Super League. neither team are on the court up there starting to loosen up, even though their warm-up is officially 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
We've seen other teams be up there 30, 35 minutes before. Neither team up there yet, which probably senses what's happening as Abigail Russell gets the kill from the left side.
That's a great block out kill. Again, just taking advantage where the blockers are setting really close to the pin. You want to take that line away, but you don't want to leave yourself exposed to block out action.
So Busquets into the game. The current reigning Super League champion, Casey Bell, on the service line, and she'll get the ace.
Ace on Davitt as well. Not something that you're going to see very often. And you can see her just saying to her teammates, yeah, I know that was my fault. I've got the next one. Exactly the type of confidence that you want to see from your libero.
So can Lionhearts respond? Last time out for side out, they went on a run. Vizlienne, big swing, finds the gap in the back row defense.
And it's all about that fire. Who has it? Who's feeling it right now? Who has the need to win? We're past the point of desire to win. We're at the need stage.
Shrivadova on the serve. Busquets on the slide, gets the touch on the block from Stewart.
That slide has been so effective. I don't think that she's missed one. And
No, and talking when Coach Mark caught up with us in the week, building up to it along with some of the VE staff, he talked about that wasn't something that was in the playbook at all last year. None of the middles last year could run the slide. And this year, with Busquets' ability, they've added it in, and you can see the success by how much they're running it as well. That's always a good sign as Moore beats the block via the net tape. Mallory Porsche into the front row. Big moment for Lionhearts to get that side out.
they'll be really excited about this rotation. Moore was quite good in the service yesterday, so they'll be hoping to capitalize on the mix of that and having the bigger, strong block up front.
90% success rate on the season for Olivia Moore. That one low across the net. Yilmaz gets to it. Russell has to wait on it. I think there was a little touch on it. As Vizlienne, that's going to be a tough angle. Aiken has to play, so out of system. Rantala tipped. Porsche didn't quite find it. No net touch. Davide Taberi wanted the net touch, and they are going to call 4 touches instead as the ball. There was no net touch, but the ball didn't clear the net.
Interesting.
I saw the net move.
The net was definitely moving, and it didn't look like the ball because that ball was like quite high above the tape, so I don't think it was that.
Well, they called 4 touches in the end, so either way, point Lionhearts. No protest from Mark Contopoulos. I saw a thumb up as Mully leaves it, but the ball plants into the corner, and Lionhearts get to 20.
They've been aiming for those deep corners all match long. Moore has come in and said, okay, that's fine. You guys have been trying to do it, but I can make it happen. Great serve again.
Aiken lows for Busquets. Go to the hot hand of Vizlienne, but she pushes it wide.
Can definitely see the idea there. Trying to go for that open bit of court. Polonia now defensively are quite narrow in. So trying to see what they can take advantage of there.
Stewart, nice high ball, but off the 3-meter line. Vizlienne has to go tip. Yilmaz able to get there. Middle for Busquets. Doesn't quite time it up properly. Stewart, big swing. You tell she put a little bit more into that one. Mully goes long. No touch given.
It didn't look.
We're checking. That wasn't the most convincing signal from the line judge. I don't know what she gave. And they're going to go touch given.
That's a big swing because that's 15-21 versus 16-20. It would be excellent if we had the Hawkeye system here. Mary Stewart just asking the referee what's happened, and he said he's going to go with his line judge's call.
As low serve by Russell gets Shrivadova scrambling, tight angle, and Vizlienne finds the way to beat Carla Mully. That's a really tough swing.
That is such an impressive swing. You're right. That's a really difficult ball to hit. It's really close to the antenna. The fact that she kept it off the antenna, so good.
Yilmaz two-handed serve reception as the Porsche's touch takes it over the top of Davitt. Busquets, no serving sub, interestingly. No Miller, that probably is normally Miller time 21-17. Russell, bump set, Rantala, Davitt into the net, and Stewart can't play it. And side out are clawing their way back, 21-18.
3-point set here.
And coach Davide Taberdi making the call instead of the setter. He clearly wants something. You would have guessed this ball's going to Mallory Porcher. We will see.
Okay.
Great pass by Shrivadova. Slide for Porcher. There you go.
Exactly what he wanted to see. It all hinged on whether or not that pass was going to come up. Sviridova with an excellent one. Michael Hansen-Morris with the top-tier volleyball IQ, knowing where that ball is going.
If in doubt, go to the middle, who's had success all game long. She's not going to get many more points in the front row. Got to go to her before she heads to the service line. As Mully, again, a little block touch. Antonova going to be able to get there. Cover by the setup. Russell, Rantala, another block touch. Good defense by Stewart. Davitt's going to set, but not a good angle. Ball legal by Shrivadova. Good job. Mully, the Lionhearts block touch really coming through. And Shrivadova, first time in a while, goes sharp. And we are looking like 5 sets as Yulia Tokarenko is going to come into the game. Carla Mully, maybe a little bit of fatigue. She's going to head to the bench. Obviously, Mully, only third game back from injury, having missed the whole of 2025 until the National Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
So with the 5 set yesterday, you maybe just a little bit of fatigue in the swing. She hasn't been effective today as she was yesterday. Rantala completely mistimes that one. And 6 set points go to the way of Lionhearts Venarius.
Really disappointing there from the opposite. You need to get that ball over the net when you're so close to the end.
Tokarenko immediately asked questions on serve receive, finds Vislien. Shrivadova off pace, Yilmaz gets to it. Aiken can only bump set as Davitt able to make the play. Shrivadova with this opportunity. Rantala wanted it and beats the block.
Much better from her after that error in the last point, saving one of these set points, and we're going to have a reversal of that double substitution.
So Jagielska into the front row, a bit more blocking height. And Skandali back row.
This is a really tough ask now. So Skandali is just coming off of the bench, having sat down for quite a number of rotations, straight on to serve.
And it's big lineup. You probably ideally want Abby Russell in the front row here instead of Alice Jagielska, but outside of that, it's pretty much perfect for defense. But Porcher says it does not matter. Monster swing, set 5.
And
here we come. Jess Smith, did we expect anything less?
I mean, it was tough to say before the day started, but after those 3 5-setters that we had yesterday, nothing could have surprised me less than seeing us going to 5 here. So we will be back with you in just a couple of minutes. We'll see the toss, and then we'll talk to you when it comes to set number 5.
Welcome back to Crystal Palace. We're about getting underway to what we might as well call Final Four tradition, Jess. This is game number 13 of Final Fours. This is set 5-8 time.
Yeah, exactly what you want to see out of a weekend like this. This is the top level of volleyball. These are the final 4 teams of the Mari Women's Super League, and they are putting everything out on the court today. The crowd's getting excited. The ladies are getting excited. Both teams look pumped. Both teams look ready to take on the challenge of this 5th set.
And Jess, you're just talking about it off air. 104 kills compared to 28 errors shows what high level of volleyball we've had.
Yeah, absolutely massive performance from the ladies. We've had some really crazy top scorers. Spiridova on 15 kills, Vislian on 14, Mallory Porcher on 12, and for Polonia, we've got Yulia Tokarenko, unsurprisingly, is leading them with 15 kills, followed by Jagielska with 7.
So Maggie Stewart gets underway. Set number 5 for the bronze medal. Tokarenko avoids the antenna. Long set out to Shrivadova. Gets the ball over the net. It's going to be a free ball for Russell. She tries to go deep back corner. And Shrivadova misses the baseline. So starting 7s for both teams here in set 5. Side out. Yilmaz at libero. Bell, who's just rotated into the front court. Skandali, Tokarenko, Jagielska, Russell and Busquets for Lionhearts. Vislian, Shrivadova, Davitt as the libero. Moore, Atanasova and Stewart as Davitt gets aced. That ball probably going wide. And it's Busquets with the ace. The 18-year-old from Spain who won a championship last year at home. First-year student at King's College.
Really great serve from her.
Normally struggles a little bit. Only 76% success rate on the serves. High error rate. Can she back it up with a ball in play? Yes, she can. Shrivadova, not a good angle. Side out dominating early on in this set. Can they find the kill here? Dig by Vislian. Shrivadova. Net touch. Kill. Take your pick.
We've got to
Clean
give that as a
point
kill, right?
Yeah, on your stats, 100%. And Mallory Porcher into the game.
This was a good rotation for Lionhearts in the last set.
More little floaty. Wasn't the cleanest of connections, but doesn't matter. Tokarenko with the tip.
I feel like that was an instant replay of Moore's last serve in the last set because
Yep.
it was almost textbook the same play. Tokarenko tipped the ball and it went down just in front of the 3-meter line.
As an ace for side out. The second one of set number 5. And they are starting to pull away. 4 plays 1.
Really interesting from side
A
out
lot
here.
of
They've come
discussion
out
on
of the blocks.
Lionhearts bench, and they're going to take a timeout. And it's a shame because that serve receiver unit's done a really good job today. They struggled yesterday. Today's been a real step up, and now in set 5, when it matters the most, not quite there.
It isn't quite there, but I will say it looks like the Polonia team is turning their service pressure up to 11. The serves are coming in harder, flatter, faster. These are so difficult to pass. Coach Taberti just telling his ladies, take that deep breath, relax those shoulders, get this next pass up for Atanasova.
So Skandali, the setup back to serve. Obviously, this is the depth we talked about a little bit yesterday in set 5. Side out with that double change with Millard on the bench. Can do some things as the ace. Followed by the error. Coach's point on the timeout. As Mira Antonasova, who's had a really strong game for Lionhearts, really done a good job mixing up her sets and where the ball's going. Long set, that's tight to the tape for Tokarenko. Davitt gets a hand to it and takes it away from Stewart, who was covering on the longer tip.
Really unfortunate there because I think Stewart had a good chance of getting to that ball because it was going to go quite long. Second referee just providing a towel. It's not quite as warm as it was yesterday at this time.
No, this is glorious. But this time yesterday we were exactly one set into the event. It feels like an eternity ago, but that's because we've had good volleyball, and who can argue with good volleyball?
Exactly. Who would want to argue with the good volleyball anyway?
Anyone that wants to go home before midnight.
Sleep is overrated.
Tokarenko, Shrivadova calls for it. Atanasova going to set Porsche. And I think that may have nutmegged Skandali. We'll have a look at that on the replay.
Let's watch. Let's see if Michael Hansen-Morse is correct.
No.
Oh, just outside
Missed
the
the right
legs.
foot.
But
Bounced right by her foot, though.
It was really obvious where that ball was going to go, and then Porsche was like, that's fine. I can just hit over the block of Bell.
Shrivadova, who's been a little bit passive with some of her serves, a little bit more on that one. Good defense by Lionhearts. That block touch really was strong in set number 4. Jagielska, recyclable. Skandali went to set it, but only set it backwards. Jagielska with that roll. Vislien, no good. Longer rally again. Tokarenko from the pipe beats Antonasova. That ball into the bleachers on our side of the court. Huge swing by Yulia Tokarenko.
Yep, she's been coming in with the hammer all weekend, and she's just still firing. She is looking calm out there, but you can tell she's also fired up.
So Yilmaz out of the game on the rotation. Casey Bell to serve. She had 2 or 3 aces today, Casey Bell. Valeria Busquets into the front row, and Bell with the service error. Mark Gontopoulos looks up here, saying something. Not what you want in set 5.
Right.
Porsche. Tokarenko overpass. Moore tries to stab it. Yilmaz alive to it. Atanasova able to make the correction. Shrivadova going to give up the free ball though. Skandali, Busquets down the middle.
Exactly what you want to see from your middle attacker when they have another middle on the other side of the court. Porsche in a good position, but I don't think she's quite low enough for defense.
As the Lionhearts fans try and help their side through to what would be a very unexpected bronze medal. If you look at the form table, as Vislien, a big swing again. She's had an outstanding match.
She really has, and this is her first point in set number 5. So welcome to the set. Exciting to see that one team is going to break 5 before we swap in, because in 2 of the 3 yesterday we were 8-4 at the swap.
Can Lionhearts get a point on serve before the change of ends? No, they can't. Abigail Russell with the cross court, and we will change sides. 8-5, set number 5 for the bronze medal.
Polonia looking really comfortable playing a 5-setter here.
But we said this yesterday, they were up 2 off. Trying to get this right. I believe it was 13-11.
I might be able
Essex had 4 straight points to close out the game with Julia Haney on the service line. I believe it was 13-11 off memory.
It was indeed 13-11. They had 3 kills and, sorry, when I say they, Essex had 3 kills and there was 1 error from Polonia to close out that set.
Yep. And it was Haney on the service line. So never say never. Overpassed by Shrivadova, but she doesn't get aced. Busquets into the block and more. That's going to come over. She'll set instead to allow system play. Stuart Jagielska, who's been terrific on the defensive end late in this game. Tokarenko, great defense. Shrivadova and Vislien. Busquets beats Shrivadova, who was moving to her right. The ball goes to the left, and Lionhearts can't squeeze a point out, which would have been huge.
Yes, Polonia just turning up the pressure. Lionhearts trying their best to keep things together. Looking a little bit tired here. Their teammates from the bench just reminding them, you know, you can do this. You've been playing really well.
Well, the other thing is for Lionhearts team, leave it all out on the court. You don't play again until September, October, whenever Super League 25-26 starts. Obviously, 8 teams next year. That's a fun dynamic. Every game going to be so important in the Super League. We will have some updates about some plans for the Super League later on today. as we'll be joined by Rob Payne from the VE Comp staff to talk through some of those changes. Second time out for Davide Taberti. His coaching in huddles at least is done for now. Can he get a response from his side? Shrivadova, Atanasova, more on the slide. No good. Tokarenko tries to go line and finds it. Yulia Tokarenko coming up big.
She has been so dominant in this match.
Shrivadova, Atanasova, Stewart into the block. Busquets, I think, wanted the point. But Lionhearts will win a big one, Jess. They needed that to have a chance.
Yeah, they really did. They had to get themselves back into this set to keep things going. But a good recycle play by Stewart. Great block coverage by Davitt.
The scoreboard on the plastic scoreboard on the other side of the arena is out of sync, so that's what the question was about. Just checking where the score is. It is 10-6. Busquets makes it 11.
Great swing from her there.
And we appreciate those of you joining us in the chat. Just make sure you stay with us all weekend long. Well, I say all weekend, it is Sunday afternoon already, Jess. But 3 more games coming up. Newcastle Knights, Mallory Eagles next up in the men's bronze medal game in the Dynamic Men's Super League, as Kerry Millard, who didn't get on in set 4, so long wait, in set 5, as Atanasova able to keep a stab at it. Davitt's going to give up the 3 ball. Side out have been almost perfect so far in set 5, and that continues with the kill by Casey Bell.
This is just the offense show from Polonia in set number 5. Scandali is running a very varied offense. Tokarenko is coming in. Busquets come in. Casey Bell's come in.
Millard diving late. Davitt gets to it and Moore finds the kill. That gets Porsche into the front row.
And again, this is that rotation that Lionhearts had really great success with in set number 3. Just reversal of that serving substitution. Oh, we're going to have a serving substitution as well.
Makes
for
sense.
Lionhearts.
We'll get to that in a second. Obviously, that reversal of the sub, as Per Sora will check back into the game. The other middle for Olivia Moore. Sora, the second highest serve rating on the team at 205. Had a couple of aces in set 1 and set 2 as well, Jess.
Yep.
Maybe this is the time you go big on your serve. You've got to really put pressure on. Unfortunately, the cold puts that into the error, and they're going to reverse that sub straight away.
So there's 2 aspects to the reversal of the sub straight away. The first is you're just giving a little bit of extra delay before the other team serves. And the second is you don't forget that who's supposed to go on court when the libero is coming off, when you get back around.
Atanasova, Porsche, little tip. Skandali able to read it. Skandali's done a really good job today, as Jagielska wins the point and side out moves 7 points away. Shrivadova, that was an overpass, so Jagielska was trying to find bronze medal point. Shrivadova into the net. That ball is no good. And team side out Polonia win the bronze medal. 15 points to 7. And they rebound from yesterday's heartbreak to defeat their London rivals, Lionhearts Venarius. And add a medal to the collection. Jess Smith, what a game of volleyball we saw.
Incredible match. Really great to see both teams coming out, putting everything out there, and some really impressive performances from a number of players on both sides of the net.
As we get some final numbers, we will immediately have the bronze medal presentation. Then we'll bring our MVP up for a little chat as well, and then we'll get ready for the next bronze medal game, Newcastle Knights, Mallory Eagles men. But Jess, you've got to credit this Lionhearts Venerius team. They came in here, talked about it, nothing to lose really, everything to gain. Did not play their best volleyball yesterday and came out today and responded. Fell short in set number 5, but they can have no qualms with today's effort.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Really impressive showing from them. 61 kills across the team, 5 blocks and 10 aces, with 29 errors, which across 5 sets is actually pretty low. So that's a really good showing. I think the key for them is just trying to figure out a way to rejig their defense so that they're not getting caught out on those shorter tips when they're looking to change things up for next season. And for Polonia, we had some really great performances as well. 58 kills, 7 blocks, and 5 aces. And they had 19 errors. So that difference of 10 errors between the two squads, really a difference maker in this particular match.
And we'll have a look at those Lionheart stats just while we wait for the medals presentation. But again, a real team effort today, Jess. Shuvidova, Porsche, and Vislien, all with 17 or 18 points. And that's the balance this team. We had the question going into this weekend, the balance of the attack. It was so Shuvidova heavy, but they managed to find that balance there, and that really gave them the opportunity.
Yeah, they really did a good job of varying up the offense today, more than they did yesterday, although yesterday they did struggle a lot with the pass. So I think having that improvement in the service reception was a key element to improving the distribution in the offense here. So, and good showing with the blocks as well against a really tough attacking team for side out.
Indeed, as their season comes to a close, but we obviously talked about the progression of this team as well. Yes, solidified themselves as a Super League team now, and we know this team with some of this talent, they're all London based. With the depth of London volleyball, they're going to be serious contenders moving forwards as well, not just this season. It's not going to be a one-off thing for this team.
No, definitely not. I wouldn't be surprised to see them again in the Final Four next year. They definitely have plenty of stuff to improve on and grow based on. So Sviridova and Porsche, obviously key players for them, but really great performances from Vislien today, who honestly, her performance today compared to what she showed up with yesterday was absolutely night and day. Really great. Atanasova putting up some beautiful sets today. Stewart with some smart swings again. And Davitt, great libero.
And obviously we need to mention the Lionhearts coaching staff as well. Obviously Davide Tiberti done a great job, well assisted by Turbo Chiong and Jeremy Long as well, and they've really got the best out of this group, and unfortunately we'll be leaving here empty-handed. But the team that will not be is the team from just down the road, or at least where they play their games. Team Side Out Polonia, and they will come up and get their medals presented by Charlie Ford. And that will start with number 1, Abigail Russell. Big impact on the outside yesterday for Abby Russell.
Yes, so great. And doing a really good job as well of taking advantage and taking control in that backcourt as part of that defensive unit, which you wouldn't expect to see.
And she's obviously joined by Carrie Millard. A couple of big serves down the stretch. Number 3, Merv Aiken, big role throughout the season for Merv. Number 5, Carla Mully. Number 6, Joanna Bivarte. Number 9, Anna Rantala. Number 12, Alice Jagielska.
So smart today. So smart out there.
And all weekend, to be honest. Jagielska was definitely in our consideration for player of the game yesterday as well. Number 14, Casey Bell. Champion for a few more hours, having done the double with Durham last year. Number 15, Constantina Stangali, who did a really good job setting today.
Yeah, really good distribution.
16, Kanako Hayashi. Number 18, Yulia Tokarenko. Number 19, great to see her in the building. Sydney Boost obviously had the ACL injury early in the season.
Yep.
And number 25, Valeria Busquets, the young 18-year-old Spanish player from Barcelona. And of course, the captain, number 10, starting libero, Alara Yilmaz. And of course, the experienced coaching staff, Mark Kontopoulos, joined by Hal Binley, Christian Kowalski, Sam Skorsky. And Mark talked about the impact of this coaching staff and having a deeper staff this year and how much that helped him out and helped the team.
Yeah, it's really important to have extra sets of eyes and extra opinions almost, so that you can have each one of your coaching staff members focus on one specific aspect of the game, giving your players all the information that they need.
As the net has been tweaked, and congratulations to Team Side Out. As the men's team's getting ready, we will of course hear from our MVP in a second. We'll bring her up to the comms booth. Jess, I'll give you a quick break because I know you've got the bronze medal game to do between Newcastle and Mallory, but before you go, Lionhearts delighted with the season, but Side Out, well-deserved winners today?
Absolutely. They played another 5-set. I mean, 10 sets across 2 days is a lot of volleyball to play, and they came out and showed incredible resilience and heart to come back from some really tough points. And
obviously 4 Side Out National Cup finals to look forward to in 3 weeks. Great to close out on a bronze medal here. Wasn't the colour they wanted coming into the weekend, but that momentum will carry through to that cup final, no doubt.
Definitely. Looking forward to the next match.
Yeah, we'll take a very brief break and our game MVP will join us, and then we'll head over to the bronze medal game. But for now, London Lionhearts 2, Side Out 3 in the women's bronze medal game. Welcome back to Crystal Palace, joined by our game MVP, Yulia Tokarenko, 19 kills on the day. But Yulia, just talk, before even the result, talk about the mindset of this team. Yesterday, heartbreaking fashion. Talk about how you reset to approach today's bronze medal game.
Yeah, it was a really tough game yesterday. I think we gave it all in the game. It was really hard to come back with the strong mentality today. And obviously we were very tired, like playing 5 sets yesterday. Yeah, but I think we have a really strong bond in the team. Everyone's friends and, everyone support each other. I think that's like one of the key points. So yeah, we just agreed to do it. Like, what choice do we have really? So yeah, it's being a team, I think, and supporting each other that helps. When someone feels down, someone else steps in. So yeah, I think we did a good job and had high energy today. And we knew that Lionhearts are going to fight so hard today. they did. So I'm really proud of the team that we actually managed to keep the pressure and succeed.
And let's talk about a couple of the youngsters on your team. Your two 18-year-olds, Alice and Valeria. How much have you seen? Obviously, you've been around for a long time. How impressed have you been with their season and their continued growth?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm really proud of them as well. Like Alice is an absolute star. She was like smashing it both days. Valeria did really good job today. Like really important, scoring really important points. And I think that having those games under pressure help you grow. And we've had plenty games when we had to perform under so much pressure. So I think they picked up that skill and did really well today.
And obviously, not the medal you wanted, but you got one. Now you get to look forward. You got 3 weeks of training, and you get to have another chance in the National Cup final against Mallory.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's great. It's great we have a second chance, if you wish, and to get a gold. So yeah, I think after these games we're gonna grow even more, gonna keep training, and we're gonna come back really strong.
Well, it looks like your teammates are waiting for you over there on the balcony, so I'll let you go. But Yulia, congratulations on the bronze medal.
Thank you so much.
There's your game MVP, Yulia Tokarenko. We'll take a break. Rejoin us in a minute. Mallory men, Newcastle for the men's bronze medal. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.